Are you someone who longs for a relationship with a happily ever after ending? Buckle up to find out the truth of your own story and how to turn the tide successfully. Picture this. Scientists are able to predict whether a couple stays happily married or will get a divorce within the next 5 years, with an alarming accuracy of around 80%. How? When people degrade each other with criticism, it's a given fact that a breakup is near. In the next 5 minutes, we will show you exactly what to do when negativity enters your relationship. So the key word is criticism. Criticism isn't constructive feedback or even a complaint. It rather is an attack on the personality. This direct personal attack hijacks important parts of our brain, where it activates our ancient defense mechanisms of fight, flight, or freeze. This means that after a critic attack, the partner that received the criticism will either fight back, goes away, or simply freezes. Whatever the reaction, this interaction is devastating for each intimate romantic relationship. Perpetual criticism leads to resentment, hatred, and an eventually frozen heart, which in turn will slowly but surely lead to a breakup. How do we escape this cycle of hurt? Can we beat science? Should we, as experts often advise, abandon the relationship and find a more loving and secure partner? But what if there are children involved and you can't just leave? Or when there is enough love left to fight for? What if you are the one that's considered critical in this or your next relationship? Either way, when we want to save our relationship, we surely need to learn more loving ways of connecting with each other, right? But how? To break this spell, we need to have a solid understanding of what the criticizing person really is up to. One important thing to understand is this: criticism most likely isn't proof of a rotten character, although at times it surely may feel this way. So if it's not a character trait, then what is it? The critic is one of 6 main defense mechanisms that some of us were forced to develop in our early childhood. We call them heart defenders. That's exactly what they'll do. They keep the most valuable and vulnerable part of us safe from harm. This critic is a reaction pattern in our psyche that protected us as a child from a harsh, demanding environment. Think of parents that pushed you to the limit, or teachers that judged you and made a fool of you in front of everyone. In fact, it's our Western competitive society that makes the perfect conditions for the critic in us. Picture this, for example. Your parents were concerned with your future and knew that you would secure your future the best when you got high grades. You did your best to live up to their expectations. One day you came home with just average results. Your parents were disappointed and said things like, "If only you would be more like your brother." Their disappointment left a deep mark on your soul. From that day on, you will push yourself to the limit and start to dismiss yourself in exactly the same tone of voice your parents or teachers did. Hence, the birth of the critic. "Don't misbehave, you fool." "What is wrong with you?" Or, "You dumb retard, you will never succeed," are some sentences you'll tell yourself from that day on, just so you'd behave and do what is expected. So realize this: the critic isn't your enemy. It's one of your heart defenders, and his only goal is to keep you safe. That's how the critic came into your life. Born from the fear of being not good enough, being laughed at or dismissed, which directly refers to your instinctual fear of being banned. This deep, fearful instinct makes us hurt ourselves and push ourselves around to stay safe, so others won't judge and hurt us. As children, we rather receive conditional love by behaving as told than to face the risk of falling out of grace. Once the critic is in position and trained to shove you around, it often starts to judge others too. These valuable insights might already soften your own judgment. Next time, when your spouse hurts you with some sort of criticism, realize that in fact you're attacked by a scared-to-death kid. Know that one of its basic needs for safety is in danger, and that its basic defense mechanism is to hurt before it can be hurt. Once both of you own these powerful insights, it can be turned around for the better. The critic can learn to use language that connects, even when he or she is scared or feels threatened. The other partner can learn to see through the critic's behavior and help the critic to look past its harsh judgments and to feel into its deep-rooted fears. Remember that at the root of the feeling of being not good enough are the critic's fears of being abandoned. So instead of reacting to its harsh, controlling words, learn to see through its fears and to soothe them. This eases the fears and makes room for vulnerability and therefore loving connection, the key to happily ever after. It takes two to tango. This dance of lovers is what we call the real love commitment. A dance where you see through your imprinted defense mechanisms and learn how to dismantle them, so real love gets a chance to make a warm, connecting, and intimate bond for life, love's purest function. If you want to discover what kind of person you are in relationships and how your heart defenders were formed in your childhood, then please take the free test in the description and learn which of the 6 defenders rule your love life. Learn how you can immediately start to dismantle them. Your relationship will thrive and your spouse will love you for it. Just remember, it's never too late for a second chance to make real love flourish in your life.